Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWAS. Continuing on with NFL Week 2. Got a good one here. Bengals, Chiefs, and Kansas City. Let's go.
Welcome to the SWAS. The SWAS. SWAS. Hey, get the SWAS.
All right, like I said, Cincinnati's on the road in KC here. Line's now down to 5.5. It's been sitting at 6 for most of the week. I'm seeing 5.5 now. I actually see a 5. So it looks like some sharp action coming in, buying that Bengals number down. Total sitting at 47.5 at the time of recording. So let's go ahead and get into this one, and we'll start with the head-to-head matchup here. This is like a little rivalry that started a few years back. Cincinnati has taken 3 of the last 5, 3-2 against the spread in the last 5, but the Chiefs have taken 2 in a row. So Kansas City's had the Bengals number recently. So where do we want to start here? Well, why don't we start out with the new Bengals offense? Obviously, Brian Callahan is gone. Dan Pitcher takes over at OC. Their opening showing wasn't impressive. I mean, just 224 yards of total offense in week 1. 4.8 yards per pass is real bad. 4.4 yards per carry. Not a great showing there. 4.4 yards per carry isn't bad, but they didn't even run the ball. Here's where it gets weirder. Joe Burrow, not pressured at all. In fact, he was pressured on just 22.9% of his dropbacks in that game against the Patriots. In fact, that's the 6th fewest of any quarterback in week 1, and that's not what you wanted to see if you're a Bengals fan, because it's kind of looking like last year all over again. Remember, last year, Joe Burrow, one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL when given a clean pocket. I know that sounds weird to even say, but these are the numbers. When given a clean pocket, Joe Burrow just 6.5 yards per pass attempt last year. That's bad when you got those receivers. When pressured, 5.8. There's just not that much of a discrepancy there. 93.2 passer rating when given a clean pocket last year. So to see the Patriots not even pressure him and him still struggle, I mean, 21 of 29, 164 yards. Just couldn't get the ball downfield. No touchdowns, no picks, and 86 passer rating. What else did the Patriots do in that game? They ran a lot of man coverage. 47.3% of their defensive snaps in coverage were in man, 5th most of any NFL team in week 1, which again is not what the Bengals wanted to see. It reminds them of last year. Joe Burrow, pretty terrible against man coverage last year. Just 5.58 yards per pass attempt at a negative EPA against man coverage. So not only did the Bengals lose their opener as heavy favorites, but you could argue even worse than that, Joe Burrow comes out struggling with the same things he was struggling with last year. I mean, it seems the recipe to shut down this Bengals passing offense: rush your front 4, sit in man coverage, and put 2 safeties over top, and he can't beat it. Definitely concerning. Now, obviously, T. Higgins didn't play, and Jamar Chase missed a lot of camp because he was holding out. So there's hope here. It's not like we expect the Bengals passing offense to be trash all year. I'm sure it'll turn around, but definitely not what they wanted to see in week 1 for sure. But it's not like things are about to get easier for Joe Burrow. They're playing the Chiefs, and you want to know what Spagnuolo did a lot of last year? Man coverage, 7th most in the NFL last season. But we are looking at a different Chiefs defense here. Remember, Snead is gone, their best corner, their best player outside of Chris Jones. He's gone. We got 3 new starters in the Chiefs secondary. Not that they were new to the Chiefs, they were just new in the starting lineup. So I don't know if Spagnuolo is going to run the same sort of defense this year without Snead, and we kind of saw it. In week 1, Chiefs ran man coverage on just 25.9% of their defensive snaps. That's 20th most. So is Spagnuolo hesitant to come out in man coverage without Snead? I mean, it's only week 1. I mean, maybe it was a specific game plan for Baltimore, but it's not a great sign considering they're about to play Cincinnati, who has one of the best wide receivers in the NFL in Jamar Chase. Also, Joe Burrow has cooked Kansas City in those games. 78.6% completions, 366 passing yards per game, 6 touchdowns, no picks. So he's cooked on the Chiefs when he's seen them. And also, let's not forget that we don't expect the Chiefs to be able to stop the run this year. I mean, they couldn't even stop the run last year. 4.4 yards per carry allowed. That was 22nd in the NFL. They were 28th in run defense EPA, 27th in run defense DVOA. This was a bad run defense last year. And look, Cincinnati under Zach Taylor, they don't like to run the ball. They're 2nd in pass frequency, 31st in run frequency. But I think we're about to see that change. Look, this wasn't a great rushing attack last year with Joe Mixon, just 4 yards per carry, 21st. That's 21st in the NFL, 15th in rushing EPA, 19th in rushing DVOA. But they were actually running the ball a little bit against the Patriots last week, one of the best run defenses in the NFL last year. 4.4 yards per carry. I mean, only 16 carries. 4 of them went to Joe Burrow. So the Cincinnati RBs in that Patriots game, Zach Moss and Chase Brown, just 12 total carries. 4.4 yards per carry as a team, though. Up against this Chiefs defense that struggles to stop the run, I expect them to give those backs some touches. I'm expecting to see the Bengals run the ball in this game, and I think they're going to be successful. I also think Joe Burrow is going to bounce back a little bit too. Now, on the other side, we got Patrick Mahomes, who obviously looked pretty solid in week 1, 20 of 28, 291, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 101.9 passer rating. Other than the pick, looked pretty freaking good. I mean, looked like the Super Bowl champion, looked like the MVP. But what was Patrick Mahomes' problem last year? He struggled with pressure a little bit. I mean, by Patrick Mahomes standards, normally up until that point, he had been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL at handling pressure. Last year really wasn't. I mean, 108.9 passer rating from a clean pocket, 61.5 when pressured. That was just 24th in the NFL. Mahomes weirdly struggled with pressure last year. And what did we see in week 1 against Baltimore? When pressured, 4 of 8, 50 yards and a pick, a 47.9 passer rating. Now, it's only one game. We don't need to overreact to anything, but it is important to take note that Mahomes struggled when pressured last year. And Cincinnati, look, they're not known for their defense, but they are capable of pressuring the quarterback. They were 14th in pressure rate last year, 10th in adjusted sack rate. In week 1, want to know what quarterback was pressured more than any other quarterback in the NFL? Jacoby Brissett. He was pressured on 44.8% of his dropbacks. That's the most in the league. The Bengals may have lost the game, but it wasn't because of Jacoby Brissett. He didn't do shit. 15 of 24, 121 yards. He didn't do anything. Now, it's important to take note that, yeah, the Bengals were able to generate pressure against the Patriots. Their offensive line is nowhere comparable to the Chiefs' offensive line. Kansas City's had one of the best pass protections in the NFL for like 4 or 5 straight years. So generating pressure against the Patriots and generating pressure against the Chiefs are two different things. But the Bengals were able to generate pressure consistently last season, and they led the NFL in pressure generated in week 1. So I truly think they're able to give Mahomes some problems here in the pass rush. And if you look at the Chiefs' previous games against Cincinnati, the last 2 where the Chiefs won both of these, Mahomes, 66.1% completions, 234 passing yards per game, 2 touchdowns, no picks. So 1 touchdown a game, 103.9 passer rating. These numbers are fine, but it's not, the point I'm trying to make is it's not Mahomes that's cooking the Bengals. Want to know what cooked the Bengals in those 2 Chiefs games? The run defense. Remember, this is not a good run defense. 4.7 yards per carry allowed last year. That's 28th in the NFL, 25th in run defense EPA, 28th in run defense DVOA. This is a bad run defense. We just saw what Stevenson did to him last week. This is why the Bengals lost last week. 25 carries, 120 yards on the ground, 4.8 yards per carry. Now, the Chiefs obviously not known for their rushing attack, but it was improved last year. 4.3 yards per carry as a team. That was 10th in the NFL. Pretty average EPA and DVOA numbers. But you want to know what happened the last time the Chiefs played the Bengals? Pacheco went nuts. 18 carries, 130 yards, 7.2 yards per carry. So it's not that I expect Mahomes to go off on this Bengals defense. I actually think they'll be able to generate some pressure and give them some problems. I'm expecting Pacheco to give them some problems. Pacheco didn't do much last week. 15 carries, 45 yards on the ground, just 3 yards a carry. That was against Baltimore. I expect him to be able to get going against Cincinnati. But will it be enough to cover a 5.5, 6-point line here? Now, one thing I want to point out, last year, or at least entering last year, the trend was Mahomes as a -3 or less, as a favorite of 3 or less, or an underdog, auto bet. Mahomes as a favorite of more than 3, fade. But the thing is, that trend kind of died last year. Kansas City last season, when favored by more than 3 points, 10-4 straight up, 8-5-1 against the spread. So you can't really go by that anymore. I mean, that was profitable for a couple of years. You can't do that anymore. Cincinnati on the road last season, 3-5 straight up, 3-5 against the spread. So trends-wise, you bet Kansas City here, but I'm not. I think Joe Burrow is going to bounce back. I expect Chase Brown, Zach Moss to get going in the run game. I like the Bengals offense here. I think they're going to score. So I am on Cincinnati. I took the 6 this morning. It's down to 5.5. I'd still play it. At 5.5, I'd play it anything 4.5 or greater. I'm on Cincinnati. If you want to see all the bets I currently have open, head over to KyleKirms.com and click on Open Bets. You'll see them all listed there, as well as bets from everyone on the staff here. Also, when you sign up for Sauce Network Plus, it comes with access to the Discord, and you can participate in the weekly betting league. So head over to the website and sign up if you're interested. Live shows Saturday, college football, 10 a.m. up to kickoff. Sunday, NFL, 11 a.m. up to kickoff. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. Let's have ourselves a great NFL week 2. Had a winning week 1. Let's keep that going. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.